Hi, first graders. We are starting a new math unit, and this math unit is all about shapes. So we have a few vocabulary words that we need to discuss before we start working on shapes. These vocabulary words are new, but we will continue practicing them. You could always pause and rewatch the video if you need to as well. And then we also have linked some other videos to help you reinforce these vocabulary words too. So our very first vocabulary word for this unit is going to be the word attributes. And attributes is a vocabulary term that is the same as characteristics. So when we're talking about attributes of a shape, we're talking about the characteristics of a shape, or what makes that shape the shape that we're talking about. We could also use attributes on any type of noun, like a person or an animal. We can talk about attributes that Miss Garcia has, which would be one thing. Miss Garcia has curly hair, so that would be an attribute. Or another attribute about Miss Garcia would be that she has 2 ears, a nose, lips. All of those are attributes. So we're going to talk about what attributes each shape has. When we're considering our attributes, we want to think of these 4 questions, and we will talk about the vocabulary words that are underlined as well. The first one is, how many sides does the shape have? How many vertices? Is it an open or closed shape? And is it a 2D or 3D shape? So starting with the shapes that we'll be talking about this week, we are always going to be talking about 2D shapes. And 2D shapes are 2-dimensional shapes, which are shapes that are flat. So this is our first shape, which is a circle. And if I lay it on the side, I only get this thin little line, and that's because this shape is flat. This is a 2D shape. We find most 2D shapes on paper or in a picture because they're nice and flat. We can draw 2D shapes very easily. The other question that we want to consider is it an open or closed shape? And for that, I want to draw you a little model. Let's think of letters. We all know our letters. And so we just talked about the circle, which is like the letter O. And in the letter O, I could take my pencil and go around and around, and I will always meet back with my letter. If I go and make a letter U, letter U starts in one place and ends in a different place. It's not like my circle O that starts in one and comes back and meets at another point. This is unclosed shaped, and my U is an open shape. If I needed to, I can put something in this shape. Nothing can go in here in the middle because it is a closed off shape. Let me give you another example. I have 2 shapes again. This is a shape, you might know it, it's a square. And this is another shape. Which one is the closed shape? That's right, it's this one. My sides go along, it touches the other side, it goes along, touches the other side, goes along, touches the other side. every single side touches. If I look at this open shape, this side does not connect to any other side. This side right here also does not connect to any other side. There is an open space here. So this is an open shape and this is a closed shape. Okay? So with shapes, we can describe them as being open or being closed. Another attribute that we want to talk about are how many vertices or how many sides, and those really go together. Today we're going to be talking about this shape here, which is a triangle. Now this triangle has a line that we call a side. Then it has another line on this side that we also call a side. And finally, one more line down here on the bottom, which is also a side. So my triangle has one side, two sides, three sides. A triangle has three sides. Now, this point right here, where this side meets this bottom side, this is what we call a vertex. A vertex is where one line touches or meets another line. I have a vertex here. I have a vertex here. And I have a vertex here. So a triangle has three lines. And it has one vertex, two vertex, three vertex. Now, when we're talking about more than one vertex, our word here, vertex, changes. And it changes to vertices. Vertices. So our triangle has three vertices. So throughout this unit, you're going to see the word vertices and vertex. They mean the same thing. It's where two lines meet, but vertex is for one and vertices are for many. So let's talk about the shapes that we're focusing on for this first lesson. We have the shape of a circle, and the circle is the shape of what we were just learning, a clock. A circle is a very different shape of any other 2D shape that we're talking about. First of all, the circle is a closed shape. It does not have any openings. It has a continuous line, but the line is different. The line is not straight, okay? The line here is curved. So a circle has a curved line. And that line doesn't really start anywhere and it doesn't end anywhere. It can start here if we want to and end right back at the same place. Or it can start here if we want to and end right back at the same place. So a circle is very different because it only has a curved line. It doesn't have a beginning and it doesn't have an end. This circle is just like this circle, which is flat. So we call it a two-dimensional shape or a 2D shape for short. Since it does not have any openings, it just goes round and round. It is a closed shape. And because our line doesn't really meet anywhere, it just continues going on and on. It has no sides and no vertices. And that's what makes the circle so unique. It has 0 sides and 0 vertices. Now, the other shape we're going to talk about, we already started with, is our triangle. If you can remember, our triangle, we said, has 3 vertices, which is already different from our circle. Triangle also has 1, 2, 3 sides. So that's also different than the circle. Here I have a type of triangle. This triangle here starts here, has 1 side, 2 sides, 3 sides. But this side does not meet this side. So if we're talking about this triangle would be an open triangle. It has an open space here. But our typical triangle looks like this. We start at one end, we go down one side, we have a vertex that connects to the bottom side, another vertex that connects to the second side, and we're back at the vertex on the top. This triangle is a closed triangle. Every side meets the other side. There are no openings, especially if we connect the dotted lines to draw the shape. Now you can see there are no openings. Okay? So on your forms document, you're going to have to give me the attributes of these 2 shapes. Just the circle and just the triangle. If they are 2D or 3D shapes, which they're flat, so they're 2D. How many sides they have? Remember, one doesn't have a side. How many vertices they have? One doesn't have a vertice. And if they are open or closed shapes. Okay? See you tomorrow with another 2 shapes.